Hello everyone, Shambam here. Today is a very random video, but I felt that this was a good idea. I wanted to tell you guys about my experience working with DoorDash, some of the more crazy stuff. I've almost quit before, aka like 2 days ago I almost quit because I had such a bad experience. I'm gonna add some tips, and maybe if anyone was interested and came across this video, maybe this could help you make a decision. I just got off a shift. I did a lunch shift and it actually went pretty well. And okay, let me just start. I decided to start working DoorDash during the summer, and I took a long break, and I just started picking up again this year. I drive around in my Mustang, and it goes pretty well. The pay is pretty good. Usually, at least in the summer, I was making around $24 an hour. That is without tax. I live in Oregon. I think the income tax is like 10%, so I'm really making like a bit over $21, which is still very good, especially for me being a college student. The nice thing about DoorDash is I can do it wherever I want. Sometimes the app takes about a couple hours to a day to refresh while I'm in a different city. Not city, like region. So I'm in Oregon, and there's a pretty good chunk of places I can do DoorDash in. I can also do DoorDashes in other states, but it takes a while to refresh. That's what I'm saying. The pay is good. I can do it in many locations. The only problem I have is it can get pretty chaotic. And I'll start with what almost made me quit 2 days ago. I had to pick up an order from Killer Burger. Fine. I go to Killer Burger and I get a message asking for DoorDash to add on an order to what I'm already doing. They do that sometimes. They'll add on a second order. And usually I decline, because all this does is it makes you end up delivering 2 orders late because it takes so long to do. But if you decline, it just messes up your acceptance rate, which is dumb because sometimes you get bonuses for acceptance rates. But either way, I accept it because the order was to Mod Pizza, which is next door. So I'm like, great, I'm going to do a delivery for $7 and then $8. I'm going to make $15 really fast. And I accept. I go to Killer Burger. I grab the food. I put the food in my car. Then I go next door to Mod Pizza, where I wait for 40 minutes because the place is packed. I tell the guy the order I'm waiting for at the side, and I sit about 4 to 5 feet away from him, and I just kind of watch him work because I'm bored. And he never calls out the order name I'm waiting for. Eventually I see other DoorDashers come up, and they get their orders within like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, what's going on? After 40 minutes, I'm just like, what on earth? I've texted the first order I had from Killer Burger, say like, hey, I don't know what's going on at Mod Pizza. Like, it's taking forever. That person eventually cancels on me, and they're like, that's gross. Like, the food has been sitting for so long, and whatever. I don't care. But I'm at least like, okay, well, at least I get a free meal since they canceled, which I couldn't end up eating because it had peanuts. I'm not allergic to peanuts, but I don't eat peanuts. And then that was just dumb. Eventually, I go up and ask the guy again. He's like, what was the order name? I'm like, blank. And he's looking for the receipt for it. Eventually, he finds it. They just had the food sitting there. And I swear to God, he didn't call the name out. I was sitting right there, and he never called the name out. So that was so frustrating, because that was like an hour of work with one order canceled. The good thing is you still get paid for an order if the person cancels, but I could have made more within the time. You don't get paid for how long you work. You get paid for how many deliveries you make. Another tip, if you don't want to go like 40 minutes away from where you live, take the smaller orders that are worth like $5. They'll keep you in a local area. If you take like the really higher paying ones that are like $12 to $15, get ready to drive very far away. I learned that the hard way. Because I really don't like to drive out to Portland, Oregon to deliver food. That is not fun because I don't live in that area and I don't like to go that far. I have some other advice. Sometimes you get a lot of food that is too big to fit in the DoorDash bag. Sometimes I take the bag and I just flip it upside down and put it on top of things. It makes it easier. When you show up, you can just pull it off the top of all the food and take it inside. If you're delivering to an apartment, go to the guest parking. Don't park in people's spaces, or else you're gonna piss someone off. And definitely just be careful when driving. I've had some things happen. I will not share all of it because some of it is illegal, but some of my worst experiences was using Apple Maps or DoorDash. I think I'm going to start using Waze instead because Apple Maps has now had me 3 times turn down one-way streets. If you've ever driven down a one-way street the opposite direction, you realize how bad that feels and kind of freak out in the moments. So I'm going to probably start using Waze. What other things do I have? So a lot of places, they want you to check and make sure they have the right food. I usually just check and make sure that I see like the right amount. I don't like to open people's food and look right at it. Some places like McDonald's, or I think Burger King also does this. They'll put all the food in a bag and then they put stickers over so you can't actually open to see if the right stuff is in there. I had a delivery last night which was in the middle of nowhere in this giant like RV lot. It took me forever to find the guy. I had to go off of verbal instructions to find the place. It was a maze. And I gave him the food. It was McDonald's and it was stickered. And right before I left, he was like, "Hey." And he was concerned that I got a text message. I'm swiping that way. He was concerned that there wasn't a drink in the bag. And like he was getting ready to scold me about it. And then he realized there was a drink in the bag. And I was just like, oh my God. I've never, ever had a person like get angry about missing food. It's a lot of times it's just I can't open the bag and look. I don't know if there's I don't know. It's weird because DoorDash is like, check the food, make sure there's everything in there, but a lot of the merchants handing where you go get the food from, they'll put things that don't let you look. But I've noticed as DoorDash, I guess, has gotten more popular, the workers will check with you to make sure you have everything, which is nice. But I have said many times before I start a shift, like my goal for tonight or for this lunch shift is that nothing goes wrong. And honestly, until today, like there's always going to be something that is off. Something is going to get messed up. Like you're not going to be able to find the person. You're going to go to the wrong apartment. You're going to, there's going to be an order missing. You're going to make mistakes while driving. Accidents happen all the time. And if you're driving for your job, I mean, it's bound to happen. I no longer accept orders to Mod Pizza because of that one thing, which I know will just mess up my acceptance rate, but I don't care. There's dumb things like there's bonuses in certain areas, but for Oregon, the bonuses are always in like Portland and Sandy. I don't live near there and I don't go there. And every time I look, there's always bonuses, whether it be $1 or $2 for every delivery. That's not really fair. A huge tip I have though, just don't do delivery in the city. It was such a horrible experience. I've done it one time. Oh man, it was horrible. Parking is impossible. You had to walk blocks to get to places. I've had to, if you've been to Portland or lived there, the neighborhoods, the streets, you can go both ways, but there's only enough room for one car to make it down. It's horrible. I've had to deliver to a place where the person wasn't there, but there was nowhere to park. And I guess the address they put in probably wasn't their actual address or something weird because they wanted to meet me in person. But I went to the house, and I parked in the middle of the street because there was nowhere. But I was like, this will be real quick. And there was no one at the house. I left the food at the door, texted the person, ran back to the car where there were people honking at my car because I parked in the middle of the road. But like, what else am I supposed to do? The person wasn't there. And as I'm driving off, I get a phone call, and I see a lady on the phone. She's like, is that you? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm like, I left the food at the house. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, she's like, okay. Like, it was such a disaster. There's nowhere to park. Places are so cramped. The pay is pretty much exactly the same. The bonus is not worth it. I assume that's why they have the bonus, to try and get you to go there, even though it just sucks. The only other place I've delivered at, besides my usual place, which I won't say because it's kind of where I live, it's where I used to live, is Northeast Portland. I used to go do delivery there because it's a bit more active, but it's more like the area I deliver in. It's not really city type, but it's a lot better. I'm trying to think if I have any other last things. If you're thinking about joining, I'll have a referral code in the bottom if you want. I'm sure it's got some kind of benefit for you, but I definitely recommend it for high school. No, I don't think you can do it unless you're 18. Never mind. But if you're a college student and you've got a car or have access to a car and you want to make a good amount of pay, just make sure you save some money. If you make over $600, you're gonna have to pay tax. At least that's how it works in Oregon. I'm sure it's probably the same in the other states. I'm not a genius, but that's what I'll say. Overall, I think I'll keep doing it despite the crazy stuff. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it entertaining or learned something new. And yeah, I will see you guys later.